Hey everyone, it is Natalie from Being Intentionally Creative, and I hope you are having a wonderful day, whatever you're getting up to creatively. What are we going to do today? Well, today we are going to make a Christmas apple. I have the Let's Resin apple mold, which has been collecting dust. If I have way too many molds, that's all I'm going to say. And I haven't had the opportunity to get around to all of them. And therefore, I'm just, trying to pull out different things, some to make some really simple projects. Others are, as you've seen in the past, not too long ago, are really detail-oriented. And I appreciate everyone who watches the detail-oriented ones, even if you're skipping through it. If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. And I totally understand. So this is a very straightforward mold. Why am I calling it a Christmas apple? The reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to do it in Christmas colors. Obviously, to me, the biggest colors when it comes to Christmas are green and red. And I don't want a solid. That's not what I'm looking for in this piece. What I'm kind of looking for is a clear as such with a little bit of stuff mixed in. I know. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? Right? Okay. What are we going to be doing here? Well, first of all, I love Let's Resin for the fact that they put on, although they're very challenging and difficult to find, they will give you what the amounts are, which I would love. And I've said it before, if the other companies would be so kind as to tell us how much resin we need to make up, so we're not sitting there and guessing and either not making enough or making way too much, which has happened both ways for me. Anyways, the lid is 4.1 fluid ounces, and these are approximate. I actually went to Amazon.com because I couldn't find this on the Let's Resin website and or Amazon.ca. So they say the lid is approximately 4.1 fluid ounces, and the bottom is approximately 4.5 fluid ounces. So I'll probably err on the side of caution and do just a little bit more, just because I don't want to run out. What are we going to do? How are we going to color this? Well, for the lid, I pulled out my Gel Moment Chrome Green because I thought this would look, being Christmas, that it would be really nice to have a really bright, shiny green stem on this. And it's funny because I was thinking stems. Are stems actually green? Well, I guess technically when they first come off the tree, they're green and then they turn brown. So I was kind of having a bit of a fit going, well, what color do I do this? But we're doing it again when you're creating. I mean, do it. Do whatever works, whatever feels right. Okay, we're going to put green for the stem, and that's all I'm going to use this for. I don't want to use it anywhere else. The other thing I want to do is I want to bring in some red glitter and some green glitter. So I have I love this ultra fine red. It's called Red Carpet, and it's by Nouveau. And I mean, I have so much of this stuff and I don't use it often enough. Now, I'm not going to go stupid with this. I'm just going to get some in there so it can flutter around. And then I'm also going to put some of the green in here. And hopefully these glitters are fine enough that they'll kind of float in and we won't have it all settling to the bottom or anything like that, because I really don't want to. I'm not really hyped on putting glue into it and thickening it up, so I think what I'm going to do is just trust the universe and have it float about. The other thing I do want to do, and again, I have all kinds of this, is the metallic, they're not flakes, they're sheets. And as you can see, as they're popping out, let go. So I want to put some of this stuff in. Obviously, I'll put it into the resin and I'll break it up. So I have red and I have, just give me a second as I try and lift this up. And we're going to put some green in. I can just, and I'm not going to break it up before, I'm just going to mash it into the resin. So that's what our green's going to look like. And I just want something that's clear but has this sort of floaty effect. And what we can potentially do then once it's done is I've got some small lights that we could put into the center of this and make it glow and look pretty. Okay, I am going to go off and mix up my resin. So I just want to put these back on their perspective sheets. I am going to, because it'll take me 2 seconds to do, I am going to fill in, let that go, the apple stem. And then once I've got things mixed up, we'll come back, we'll add our flakes of, our metallic flakes. Again, I never get the name right on those. And some of our glitter, we'll pour it, and then we'll just obviously have to wait for it to set. I will be back when I'm all ready to continue on. The resin's mixed up. I have put a little bit of the sparkle in it, the green and the red. I didn't want a lot in, as I had mentioned earlier. I just want enough that you kind of get the sparkle. So yeah, I put very little in. I have a piece of the foil, call it whatever you want, in here already, because it was sort of the piece that was sort of floating around. So we're going to mix that up, and we're going to put the green in as well. And I'm putting more than this in. This piece was sort of floating around, so I thought I would start with that piece. And I got to figure out which end is up on these, because I'm having issues. But they're good issues, so just drop this in. I dislike when this stuff attaches to stuff I don't want it to attach to. And yeah, that's okay. Let's just mix up the red. I'm throwing all over the place now. Yeah, it's like, okay. I've got to get this stuff off my hands to the best of my ability. Alrighty. I've got it, so I'm going to have to, might not have been the best move on my part, but you know, you do what you do, right? I was thinking I should have used just a throwaway cup. Yeah. And it's attaching itself to everything now. All right, let's get this mixed up. I guess I could have left you out of this mix of the things, eh? But gotta have you involved in some parts of it. So, is anyone working on anything Christmas related? Making anything that's, yeah, Christmas related? I'd be curious if you are and want to share. That would be awesome. I have a metal, I guess you'd call it a tray, and I want to make a Christmas scene using it. And I had originally thought it would be something that you could hang on the wall, but I'm actually thinking of making it so it just sits on a table, getting away from my traditional of making something that hangs on the wall. I thought it might be kind of cool to not make a hang on the wall piece. Okay, let go. So we'll have to see what I ultimately, this is stupid. Oh, this is too funny. Let go. Anyways, yeah. I'll have to see. I have no ideas. Well, actually, I do have an idea. So my mom, who is no longer with us, way back when she was, I want to say either late teens or early 20s, she actually, I want to say, she played some sort of sport on ice. I don't think it was hockey. I'm not exactly sure what she did, but when she passed away, we all got a picture of her on the ice. So one idea that had come to me was to do something that involves skating and having sort of a skating rink in the center, if you will, and putting trees around and, sort of fun looking houses and maybe some animals. Trying to make it 3D as best I can, because I have a lot of different, things that I could add to it. So I was kind of thinking of doing something like that for the scene, just to do something totally different. Last year I did a house scene with the mountains behind it, and that was pretty cool. But I thought, well, a skating rink might be kind of cool. In one of the houses I lived at growing up, we had a pond that was turned in, and it was a big pond. So if the guys wanted to do hockey and whatnot, they could do that, and the rest of us could just skate around. So it was kind of cool that way. I was never very good at skating. Alrighty, I think we've got enough in here now. Both of the red and the green. So I'll just throw those off to not throw them. You don't want to throw that stuff around. Oh, and just to let you know, my Christmas tree, my Christmas house that I made in my last video, there's a tear in it, in the actual mold itself. Now, I don't know whether I was too rough with it when I pulled it out. I don't know whether the tear was there before. I did try taking some of my Let's Resin silicone to seal it up, and that didn't work for me. So I'm very grateful I actually have one made, one of them, because I think what I might end up doing is just making a silicone mold of that one and making it thicker. And I had gone back onto Temu to see about, perhaps getting another one, and they were all sold out. So I'm thinking, oh, that's a shame. And I went, you've already made one, Natalie. If you copied that one, and then at least you've got, and you can make it thicker. So a part of me is tempted to try and make it again, and hoping that maybe if I put resin down, it'll push enough that there won't be an issue, that it won't leak. But yeah, I'd want to be really careful doing that. So I haven't quite decided what I'm going to be doing. So, alrighty then. Let's do this. Okay, now when it came to getting the chrome in here, push that off to the side. It didn't go on the mold as nicely as I would have liked it to, so I'm not 100% sure how that's going to turn out. But again, it's more about, you can see in there, it's more about getting and I guess I should do that first very carefully, get some into the center of that. And I'm just letting it drip down the side to fill it up. All right, and I made approximately 250 mils of resin. All right, let me just, yeah, I don't think, it's a very stable stem, so I don't think I'm going to get much squishing done in there. All right, let's just pour this. I think it's going to look cool, especially if we've got lights in it. I don't know. I just thought this might make a really pretty, simple piece. It's not, yeah, it's clear, and it's not, green, solid, or whatnot, but sometimes you just got to play outside the box. And I think it'd make it really pretty. And the other thing is I've got one of those light stands, so one of those flat, I'll call it an LED stand that you can put things like pieces like this on so the light can glow through it. Which might be really pretty too. And I want to be careful. It should be okay going up and around under the edge of this because it's going up that way. So I like to think we're going to be okay. Like that I wouldn't have to really worry about trapped bubbles. And don't yell at me too hard if you think I should be concerned about that. Okay, let's stop. Because you got me thinking now. Because I don't want any trapped bubbles. I really don't. So, what do I want? I want something fine. Where is one of my... Yeah, you know what? I'll just use one of these. Seriously, I gotta have one around. So, apparently you can trap bubbles under there. I was kind of hoping you couldn't, right? But you figure if it's filling it up that way that it wouldn't do it, but I guess. These dotting tools are actually a pretty cool invention. Because they do serve a lot of purposes, eh? Alright, it looks like, oh no, there's one over here. It'd be really nice not to have any air bubbles under there, eh? I don't want to spend too much time doing this because, all right, now should maybe fill it up and then all right. As much of the resin off of that as possible. Sugar plum fairies. Okay, I gotta step away for a second. I just threw a wet wipe on the ground. I got wet, never mind. You had to be there. All right, let's get more of this poured and get it up and out of the way. So move this off to the side. That out of the way. I want to, it's always a little deceiving seeing when you've got these things full up. Definitely don't want it going over. All right, I think I've got that up pretty decently to the top. Okay. And I got some flex on this, so we'll just get rid of those. Again, here's hoping that we got enough resin. That'd be really cool. And that the flakes of silver, or not silver, green and red sort of stay floating in space. That'd be cool. And I don't even mind that there's some big pieces coming out of this. We'll just add some interest to the piece, that's all. So I understand that there's another storm headed to the United States. Where exactly? Raphael. And I've sort of been paying attention, but not really paying attention. But I believe Cuba's been impacted by it. So if you're in the States and it's coming your way, I hope you stay safe. And then it's, well, it doesn't sound like it's going to be as powerful as what Helene and Milton were. But anyways, regardless of the impact, I know the United States has gotten hit by a lot of stuff. So I hope that this storm is mild in comparison, if there's such a thing as a mild storm. So please stay safe. Okay, we're getting near the top. I haven't squished this, and I don't know that I want to and or would need to. I could be really wrong on that too. Anyways, let's just... There's a lot, it seems like I've got a lot more flex in that part of it than I do in this. And I just want to make sure I don't overdo this. I'm going to have a little bit left over, which I'm totally cool, not a lot. Trying to see, I want to get it as close to the top as I can without messing it up and going over, because we all know what's going to happen if that were to go over the top. It's going to be a mess. I'm thinking I should have added some more of the, we'll just stop it there. Some more of the flex, but the lid should be nice. But at least you'll get to see, right? And I think that's important. Like, as much as I do wish I had more in it, you at least can look and go, okay, like Natalie didn't add near enough, so I'm going to add more if I do this. And we won't get a full effect of it until after it's out of the mold. So we're going to let this sit and cure up now. We'll come back, take it out, and we'll put, as I said, I've got some lights we can put in, and then we'll also try the base light piece that I have and see what difference, if any, that makes. Okay, we'll be back in 24. See you then. All right, are you ready for this? So I was looking at this as it was sort of setting itself up and going, well, this might not be very festive looking. But again, better I do this than you do it. But let's get these out of the mold. I had noticed, it was interesting, I had noticed some air bubbles around the rim of the lid yesterday, and thought, well, it's too full now to give me a second as I try and get this out. I'm trying to think of what I've got that's, I just need to get underneath the lip. Oh, now I've lost my train of thought. Yes, air bubbles. I was thinking about them and going, like, there's not a lot I can do about this now, because I didn't want to end up spilling stuff all over the place. I'm just trying to break the seal. There we go. Sometimes these things are a little persnickety. All right, there we go. And I've got, I don't know whether you can see, I got some stuff on my table here because I've got a couple of ideas. Let's see how it turned out. Like, I'm wondering if it's going to be too clear. That's the only reason I've got some other things out. Okay. So that's a really nice fit. And that's blue. Let's do something. Is that better? Does that help? Not really. Okay, that wasn't a good idea. Let me see. Helpful? Maybe a little bit. This actually came out better than I thought it was going to. That actually came out better than I thought it was going to. So let's just put that there. And hopefully this is an easier seal to break. There we go. And I'm really hoping that this isn't this isn't persnickety to get out. So I'm going to have to probably pull this against my body so I can start rolling it down. I am so grateful that silicone is so forgiving. Yeah, silicone is so forgiving. Because some of these pieces, oh my gosh, sugar plum fairies. Oh, they're so tight. I mean, I get it, but when it comes to getting these things off, sometimes it is very much a challenge and a half. You get rolling. I guess that's the trick, isn't it? You gotta get rolling. Because then you get at least, there we go. Let's get rolling. Ah, better. So yes, I am learning that the roll technique seems to be the ticket to getting some of these out. Whew. If you've worked with resin in pieces like this, you get it. You get it. Just getting this back together in the right shape. Both my hands in that mold. I had fun with that. Alrighty. So here's the bottom. Let's just put this. The lid's very compared. Oh, this is super light. That's got a lot more to it. Okay, so there's our apple. There is our apple. Let me put that on there. See if it makes a little bit of a difference to you. Alrighty then. So I love the lid. Actually, I think the lid turned out really cool. Do I wish I had some more in the base? Yeah, I do. And I thought that even after I poured it, that I wish I did. Do I have air bubbles in it? I can see some, yes. I can see some around the top. Let's see. Or the top, bottom, whatever you want to call this. I can feel them. Yeah, I've got some air bubbles in there. And I was a little concerned about that, but that's okay. I like that it's clear because you have a hard time seeing that. How did I do around the edge? Yeah, I can feel some around there too. Alrighty. And I can see micro bubbles. But I'm one of these people when it comes to resin, I don't have that expectation there's going to be absolutely no air bubbles in it. All right, so what are we going to do? There are a couple of things I want to try out. So I have this mini light, and we talked a little bit about that. So I'm trying to decide, you know what? I don't think I really need to do that. Oops. So let's just get the piece out from that perspective. Let's get these. Figure out how to turn the darn thing off. Oh my gosh, these flash. I don't want flashing lights. I can't do that. Too early in the day for me to have flashing lights. I guess I'm going to have to unwind these. I didn't want to do that, but it was interesting because I was hoping I could find some colored lights. Ding. Oh, it just makes me think of Christmas lights in general. Stay. Alrighty, let me turn this light off, see if it's enough. Alright, that's not going to give you much of a glow. Give me a second, and I will be right back. I'm just going to close a couple of things down. Alrighty, now hopefully you can hear me, but give me a second. That looks pretty. Alrighty, so you can see the glow of that. I have a better perspective because of, well, I'm here and you're not. But at least it looks nice, and I like that they're colored lights in this. Okay, so again, you're not going to get to see the color in that. But I like the idea of that. I do wish I had some more in it. That I will not lie. I wish I had some more color in that, just a little bit. Again, I was kind of going for the clear look, and I definitely got that. So let's turn this light back on so we can see again. We'll take that off, take these out, turn them off, and scrunch them back up and throw them in a bag. Okay, the next thing I want to do, which is probably going to do similar to the same thing as this, is I mentioned I had a base. This thing is bright. Don't ever... Okay, so I'm going to share something that I usually do. I'm very bad at this. They say you shouldn't look directly at a light. It's funny how I'll turn on lights and I'll look right at them. Don't do it, and then I go ahead and do it. So don't, because this light is incredibly bright. There we go. So let's turn this off again. Okay, so you get a different glow. I'm going to protect my eyes because that's really bright now. So you get a totally different look when it's coming up from the base, which is kind of nice. So this would make a really cool light for somewhere. I mean, at Christmas, and that gives off a lot of light. That definitely gives off a lot of light. Okay, so I'm going to turn that... Hold on a second. Turn that off. I know you couldn't see for a moment, so take that off. Now, the other thing I wanted to do, or to try, let's say I'm going to try this. I want to... I was thinking, what if we put some stones like this in it, or some of these, quote, diamond pieces in it, or red chunks of glass in this, just to give it some more color, because I obviously didn't, and I appreciate that that's, but it's got an iridescent look to it. So let's take, where should we start? Let's start with the one that's the least messiest. Let's bring back these lights. These things go all over the bloody place. It's too funny. All right, let's just pour some of these in here. I'm trying to sort of pour them, and this may not work. So let's just not... Okay. Let's see what happens. We do something like that. We'll put the lid back on. We'll keep the thing on the outside. Oh, that is just crazy. So I don't know how much of a better view or look that gives it. I was kind of thinking it might bounce off the clear part of those. Let's turn these off. Again, you're probably not going to get it. Oops, get back in the camera, Natalie. Yeah, it's not, yeah, that's probably not doing a heck of a lot of anything. But it's kind of cool. And I think the fact that these little guys just bounce all over the place. So maybe what we'll do, get those turned off. We will come back to, this is a really bright light here. So that makes a difference. The glow is a lot less because it's having to bounce through the crystals. So it gives it a different view. So let's just use this light now. Turn that off. So I'm just trying to give myself some ideas and you some ideas by doing this. You could put tissue paper in that. You could put some tissue paper in it, put the lights around it. I'd like to think those lights will be safe enough around that. I want to pour these in carefully because these are glass. Okay. Let's put those in there. I think it's kind of boring. Hard to say. Yeah, I'm not loving that. Take the lid off of it. You could maybe put a tea light or something on there. Let's see. I don't know if these will make any difference. If you used both. Well, it's not working for me, but that's okay. This reminds me of the pictures I've seen of those, I want to say a sauna, but those caves that people go into that have the salt caves, that's it, that people go into. So I kind of thought these might work, but they're not really doing it much for me either. So let's get those back in their container. I want to get all that glass out of there. I'll wipe that down after. Okay, I do have lots of colored stones. I'm sort of working with the Christmas theme here. That's why I don't have other ones. These are glass pieces. Be very careful if you're working with the glass. Oh, that kind of gives a nice glow. Obviously red, right? So it looks, obviously the camera is not really picking this up the way I want to, but it's got a nice red glow. So maybe a colored stone is the way to go with this. I do have green over there. I'm not going to go run and get it, but it does give us sort of a nice soft glow using the red. So that's kind of cool. Tissue paper again might be an interesting object to put in here. Yeah, so the red gives a nice glow, and I mean it does help because it comes up through the rim of the container as well. So that's kind of cool. I'll play around with it. If I get some other ideas, I'll post them on my Facebook page. Tissue paper might work. A Christmas, it just kind of crumpled up and put inside and then set on the base. Green stones would work. I'm not thinking white. I have to think about this some more. But again, I was going for, okay, where are you? There we go. I was going for a Christmas theme with this piece, and I really had my heart set on making it clear. Or what you could do is just, do something clear and then put some candy in it. Candy canes, fake or real, you could put in here. If you're going to do fake, let people know, especially if you've got young kids around. You could somehow make like a diorama in something like this if you wanted to, now that it's all put together, and do something on the inside of that. I don't have any tiny trees, 3D trees that would fit in there. Mine are too big. Give me a second. I'll be right back. As it happens, I do have some small trees. I didn't think I did, but you just have to know where to look. Okay, so if you wanted to, you could do a small winter scene. I have some, these came out by Ranger last year. I've got the small set and the big set of these guys. I don't know if he's going to stand. He wasn't standing when I was... So this is what I'm kind of thinking about. If you did a small scene and then wrap some lights around it, that might be kind of cool. And I did recently see Tim Holtz did a hoopla, I think that's what it's called, video on actually coloring these guys with, I want to say, like a wax paste of some sort. You'll have to go watch it. If I remember, I'll post the link for you, because he colored these guys with a wax, like by using the product and adding, I'm pretty confident it was alcohol, isopropyl alcohol to it, but you'd have to go watch the video. So there's that. Let's take Santa out of there. And I guess, let's see. I got all my lights back on, but do this very carefully because it's Santa's a little tilty. So if you did something like that, oops, Santa fell over. But you get the idea, right? Making a little bit of a scene in the inside. And if I know Michael's, I don't know about anywhere else, but you could probably on Amazon and whatnot find miniatures of things. So let your, I mean, if that's something you want to do, let your imagination go wild. So I got these from Michael's last year. These are by Ashland. So if you did something, let's see, are you going to, well, it does. Let's turn this light off. My other ones are back on. So again, you're going to have to let your imagination go a little crazy if you're going to do something like this. You know, just think of things, and is there something you can, you know, put around the top here to represent, well, that'd be hard to do. But it's not, it's a challenge. You could do it, like some sort of scene around the top here so you could see out of it. That's what, for me, what dioramas are all about. It's what can I do? How can I make it fit, you know, the best way? And then go from there. And then if you did something like that and you put it up on a mantle plate, a mantle, and then plugged in a light like this, then you'd have, like, it'd look really cool. It'd like be like a Christmas, you know, village or just any kind of Christmassy theme that, you know, you could do. Again, depends on how much time you want to put into it. But so it does lend itself to some really cool ideas. You just have to let your imagination, you know, free to come up with some ideas. This stand, much more powerful than the mini lights, but it depends on, do you want a really intense glow? Do you want something that's just soft? As I say, this without anything in it is a little too intense for me. The glass pieces, though, definitely help to tone that down to give you a soft glow. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hopefully it's inspired you to come up with some ideas of your own. And if I did it again, yeah, I would put more in it. And it's like the lid I like because it's got a lot in it. Like the lid definitely has a lot more color to it, a lot more, you know, spread outness of it. But anyway, that is my Christmas apple that I'm going to have to figure something out with to make it more interesting. As I say, you could put candy in it. You could put some tissue paper in it. Obviously the glass, the colored glass works. You could create a theme inside of it. It's all up to you what you do with something like this. Anyways, I hope it sparked your imagination. I hope it's given you something to think about. Thank you for watching and subscribing and the comments I'm getting. I really do appreciate them. Have a wonderful creative day. Take care. Bye for now.